Good morning, Clearbranch kids. I hope that you guys are all having a wonderful October so far. I hope that you are, and I know that I am, because October, and really any month, is a great time to be talking about integrity. So what is integrity? Well, integrity is as simple as choosing to be truthful in everything that you say and do. And that's what today's lesson is about. Now, we're going to rewind way back today into the Old Testament, into the book of 2 Kings. In the story that we're going to hear, the main character is someone maybe somewhat surprising because he was not a believer in our one true God. But his name was Naaman, and he was the top commander of all the armies of Syria. He was a really important man. But sometimes being powerful isn't the answer to all your problems. And it certainly wasn't for Naaman, because he got really, really sick with a terrible skin disease, and no one around could seem to figure out anything to do to heal him. Well, as luck or God would have it, there was a servant girl living in Naaman's household who was originally from Israel, and she was a believer in the one true God. And she told Naaman that in her home country there was someone, a prophet of God's, that could probably help him. And so Naaman set off on the long journey to see a man named Elisha in Israel. Now, we just said that Naaman was very important, and he was probably used to being treated as such. He probably expected that Elisha would come out and there would be pomp and circumstance, and everybody would be so flattered that this important man had come to see him. But instead, he showed up after the long journey at Elisha's door, and Elisha didn't even come out to see him. Instead, he sent a messenger out to talk to him, who then gave him some instructions. And he told him that what he needed to do was to go to the Jordan River and bathe 7 times. And after that, he would be healed. Well, Naaman sat there and pouted for a while. I mean, first of all, they had slighted him. They didn't treat him like the important man that he was. And then second of all, this seemed kind of a strange thing to do. But after a bit, he thought, well, this girl seemed to believe that this is what I needed to do, and that this man, this prophet of God, could help me. And so maybe I just need to swallow my pride and go do what he's told me to do. And so he did. He went to the Jordan River and he bathed himself 7 times. And sure enough, when he emerged after that 7th bath in the Jordan River, he was completely healed. Well, Naaman was thrilled. He was overjoyed. And so he hurried as quick as he could back to Elisha's house so that he could thank him. And this time Elisha came out to speak to him, and he let Naaman thank him. And Naaman not only thanked him, but told him that he understood now that the God of Israel was the one true God. And then after they had spent some time together, he also offered to give Naaman gifts. So what did he want? Something he could give him as a thank you for this wonderful thing that he had done for him. But Elisha didn't want to take payment for something that God had done. And so he turned him down. Now, this is where our story takes a turn. Because Elisha had integrity, but there was another man in that household who did not. It was a servant of Elisha's named Gehazi, and he had been around the corner and heard this whole conversation, and he felt like their household deserved some type of payment for this wonderful thing that had happened for Naaman. And so he snuck away and he ran out and followed Naaman down the road. Well, Naaman saw him coming, so he stopped and waited and wanted to see what he needed, what was going on. And Gehazi lied and told Naaman that Elisha had changed his mind, and he did want some things as payment after all, as a gift, that he wanted some money and some clothing. He told him the details, and Naaman was so thrilled to be able to do something for Elisha that he gave Gehazi more than he had asked for to take back, he thought, to Naaman. Well, unfortunately, this did not end well for Gehazi, because he did not act with integrity. Remember, he lied to Naaman, and now he came back to Elisha's household and he lied about where these things had come from. But eventually the truth came out, and 2 terrible things happened. One was that Gehazi came down with the same horrible skin disease that Naaman had had. And then also, Elisha found out that he could no longer trust this servant. Now, one may seem worse than the other, but when you work for someone, you've got to be able to have their trust in you. And unfortunately, Gehazi learned what we need to learn today as well, is that when we lie, when we're not honest, we lose people's trust. And that's our bottom line for this week that I want you to remember. When you're not truthful, you lose trust.